Welcome back to the channel, my friends. I am Kevin, this is Reading the Room, and in today's video we are going to be discussing a topic that should be new to some, old to others. It's the trial by combat of Sir Duncan the Tall. In the history of Westeros, few trials by combat are as legendary, as chaotic, or as revealing of the realm's moral fractures as the trial fought for Sir Duncan the Tall, better known as Dunk. This was no ordinary duel between nobles. It was actually a clash between royal blood and common honor, between cruelty, masked as privilege, and a hedge knight who simply refused to look away. The trial took place during the reign of King Aerys I Targaryen, at a time when dragons were long dead, prophecy ruled the king's thoughts, and the realm was quietly rotting beneath arrogant princes and unchecked power. What began as a single punch thrown in defense of a helpless girl would spiral into one of the most infamous trials by combat in Westerosi history. This is going to be the full story of Sir Duncan the Tall's trial by combat, what led to it, who fought, and why its consequences echoed far beyond the Ashford meadow. Alright folks, before we get too into this, we have to talk about who Sir Duncan the Tall was. Sir Duncan the Tall was not born in nobility. He was raised in Fleabottom, poorest district of King's Landing, and grew up with nothing but hunger, grime, and dreams of knighthood. He was taken by Sir Arlen of Pennytree, an aging hedge knight who taught Dunk what it meant to try to be a knight, even if the world never fully accepted him as one. When Sir Arlen died, Dunk buried him beneath a tree, took up his sword and shield, dubbing himself a knight despite lacking formal knighting. With him traveling was a strange little bald boy who called himself Egg. Unbeknownst to Dunk, the boy was actually Prince Aegon Targaryen. Dunk's size, strength, and blunt honesty often got him into trouble, but his sense of justice was unshakable. And nowhere was that more dangerous than among the Targaryens. The incident in Ashford was a prime example of a prince's cruelty. The events leading to the trial occurred during a grand tourney at Ashford Meadow. Dunk entered hoping to win glory and coin. Instead, he found injustice. Dunk discovered that Prince Aerion Targaryen, known even then as Aerion Brightflame, had been brutally abusing a young puppeteer girl named Tencel. Aerion had also humiliated her, threatened her life, and broken her fingers for sport. When Dunk intervened, Aerion responded with threats and royal arrogance. He made it clear that he believed his blood placed him above consequence. Dunk did the unthinkable. He struck the prince. This single act, one blow thrown in defense of the helpless, sealed Dunk's fate. Striking the prince of House Targaryen was a capital crime. Dunk was immediately seized and accused of assaulting the prince, treason, and breaking the king's peace. Aerion demanded death. The matter was brought before Prince Baelor Targaryen, known as Baelor Breakspear, the heir to the Iron Throne and Hand of the King. Unlike Aerion, Baelor was honorable, just, and deeply respected. Baelor recognized that Dunk had acted to stop cruelty, but the law was law. The charge could not be dismissed, so Dunk was given a choice. And he demanded trial by combat. Refusing to confess to treason, Dunk invoked his right to trial by combat, the ancient Westerosi belief that the gods would grant victory to the innocent. But Aerion did not accept a simple duel. He escalated it. He demanded a trial by 7. If you guys don't know, trial by combat, if you are familiar with the Game of Thrones anything, let's take, if you're familiar with the TV show, The Mountain versus, Oberyn Martell. You could either fight it yourself or choose a champion. If I knew The Mountain, I would probably choose The Mountain and not fight myself either, but you could also demand a trial of 7, which was you and your boys versus the other person and their boys, and whoever wins, wins. Now we have the combatants on both sides. Sir Duncan the Tall, his champions, his boys for this one was himself, obviously. He was the accused. You have Prince Baelor Targaryen, who would die during the battle, or right after the battle. Lionel Baratheon, Raymond Fossaway, Humphrey Beesbury, Humphrey Harding, and Robin Raisling. And the accusers' champions were kind of what you expect. You have Prince Aerion Targaryen, Prince Daeron Targaryen, Prince Maekar Targaryen, Sir Stephen Fossaway. Yes, there was a Fossaway on both sides. And then you have 3 members of the Kingsguard, Sir Willem Wilde, Sir Donald Duskendale, and Roland Crakehall. And yeah, that's what we're, the tale of the tape, if you will. The Trial of Seven erupted into immediate violence. Knights fell quickly, and the ground turned to mud and blood. Sir Lionel Baratheon fought like a storm. A laughing storm, some might say. Prince Maekar proved relentless. Sir Duncan, though wounded, fought with raw power and desperation. I mean, his life was literally on the line. But the true turning point came during the chaos of the melee. Before we get into this, basically you start off on horses, and it kind of breaks down from there. So, when the melee happened, when everybody was off their horses, Prince Baelor Breakspear moved to confront Aerion Targaryen, and as he advanced, Prince Maekar, attempting to reach Aerion himself, swung his mace. The blow was not meant to kill, but it did. The mace struck Baelor's helm by accident. The blow was never meant for him, but it proved fatal. Baelor Breakspear, the best hope for the Targaryen dynasty, collapsed and later died from his wound. His death stunned the field and horrified Maekar, who would carry the guilt for the rest of his life. The trial continued, but the realm had already lost something irreplaceable. In the end, Dunk's side prevailed. Aerion was defeated, but the gods had spoken. Sir Duncan the Tall was declared innocent. He was formally knighted by Prince Maekar, making his knighthood legitimate, finally. But the victory was hollow. Baelor Breakspear was dead. His loss would fracture House Targaryen, alter the line of succession, and help pave the way for future instability, including the rise of madness within the royal line. Aerion Brightflame would live on, unchanged, his cruelty unchecked, and Dunk would carry the weight of that for the rest of his life. Before we get any further into that, Baelor Breakspear, I don't want to say was him, because that's what the kids are saying, but he was everything you would want in a king. His father was the king, and he was the hand of the king. He didn't rely on being a Targaryen because he didn't look like a Targaryen. He had all of the features of a Dornishman, because I believe that's what his mother was. She was from Dorne. So he couldn't rely on the white hair, yada yada. But he did everything correctly. And like I said, he was the hand of the king. He wasn't just floating around in the ether waiting for his father to die so that he could randomly be king. No, he was there every day putting in the work. Diplomacy, wars, yada yada. And when he died, like I said, it changed the line of succession. So rather than go through him, it had to go through someone else. And that's how we ended up with Crazy, until Jaime stabbed Crazy in the back. So this trial was not about guilt or innocence alone. It was about what Westeros rewarded and what it punished. A hedge knight who was defending the weak nearly died for it. A prince who was abusing his powers suffered no lasting consequence, and the best man among the Targaryens died trying to do what's right. Sir Duncan the Tall would go on to become Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, remembered as one of the greatest knights in Westerosi history, but it all began there, with one punch and one trial that proved the gods do not always save the realm from itself. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and all that jazz. I tried to make this and research this to make it as factually accurate as possible. I thought it was more or less, I don't know, important to put this video out, seeing as how I think A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms comes out one day before my birthday next month, and a lot of people are going into this without it knowing anything about anything. I know people have read the books and they're excited for it, but a lot of people haven't. A lot of people just watched the show, so if they're on YouTube and looking for something, they might find this and enjoy it. But yeah, if you guys enjoy it, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube nonsense, but that's the video. Peace.